We have some job cuts to tell you about in the business news. Stephen's joining us here on set. Stephen, this is at the brewer, in fact, isn't it? Heineken.
That's right. 8,000 jobs are to go at the company. Of course, it had been hard hit by the closure of hospitality venues during the pandemic for much of the past year. The world's number 2 brewer reporting losses of more than 200 million euros in 2020. Sales fell by 17% as bars and cafes were shut down for months. The cuts will represent around 10% of Heineken's workforce. The job losses are part of a company's plan to save 2 billion euros in costs by 2023. Heineken's CEO says they're expecting market conditions to improve gradually in the second half of this year.
Let's have some better news. This is for the car maker Toyota.
Profits at Toyota jumped by 50% in the last 3 months of 2020. The company seeing a solid recovery from a dip in sales earlier in the year. It reported profits equivalent to 6.6 billion euros for the quarter. For its full financial year, which runs until the end of March, Toyota says it now expects to sell 7.6 million cars. That's still a lot fewer, though, than the 9 million it sold the previous year. Toyota's CEO saying a shortage of semiconductor chips that has been affecting other car makers has not yet hit its production lines.
Let's move to the US. While the Senate is really focusing on the impeachment trial, told you about that earlier on, President Biden is pressing ahead with his economic rescue plan.
Joe Biden's trying to drum up support from the business community for his $1.9 trillion package to address the economic crisis linked to the coronavirus pandemic. Along with his Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, he met the bosses of companies like Walmart and JP Morgan on Tuesday, as well as the outgoing head of the US Chamber of Commerce. Erin Ogunkeye reports.
Pressure is mounting on Joe Biden to convince lawmakers and business leaders to unite around his $1.9 trillion coronavirus recovery package. The U.S. president held talks with executives Tuesday, focusing on stimulus payments, infrastructure, and the minimum wage.
We have to deal at the same time with employment. We have to deal at the same time with business and growth of the economy. We can't let one wait, can't get everybody well and then move on the economy. We have to move quickly on both.
Among the major proposals included in the rescue plan, direct payments of $1,400 for individuals earning up to $75,000 and households making less than $200,000 per year, raising the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $15, increased unemployment aid, and extending a moratorium on evictions. Anticipating Republican concerns about the budget, the White House press secretary also said the administration is examining different options for funding the relief package.
One thing that could happen is that the tax cuts for the highest income could be rolled back, and there's kind of a newfound concern about deficit reduction among some who supported those tax cuts. So, that's one suggestion.
While the president has expressed optimism about finding compromise with some Republicans on the relief plan, at least 2 people present at Tuesday's meeting, including executives from Walmart and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, have said they oppose raising the minimum wage to $15, a proposal Biden argues would lift millions of American workers out of poverty.
Let's take a look at what's happening on the markets next for you. European shares starting the day up. Shares, though, in the French bank Société Générale, they're up over 2% after their results came in better than had been expected by investors. Heineken shares down 1.8% after news of those job cuts was announced. In Asian trading, more optimism around among investors there, partly due to hopes of big stimulus in the United States. Got pretty significant gains on the Hang Seng in Hong Kong and on the Shanghai Composite, both seeing a bit of a trading rush before the Chinese New Year holidays start.
Now, a group of Amazon investors have called on the company not to get involved in a staff vote on forming a union.
Workers at an Amazon warehouse in Alabama are casting their ballots on joining a union. If approved, it would be the first move of its kind for the company's workers in the United States. An anti-union campaign at the warehouse has been criticised by a group of Amazon investors. The Financial Times reporting that the group, which controls more than $20 billion worth of shares in Amazon, called on the company to remain neutral in this vote. New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer, one of those representing investors, saying that they want the workers to know that they have their backs. Amazon says that it's following US labour rules by informing staff of the facts of joining a union.
And finally from Stephen, the pandemic has also been responsible for a Barbie boom, presumably a Ken boom as well.
One hopes the entire Barbie
whole
suite has
Barbie
benefited from it.
collection, yes.
But it's the best sales, actually, that Mattel has seen over a Christmas period in 4 years, up 10% in the last 3 months of 2020. Now, COVID-19 has generally boosted toy sales as parents are spending more on children who've been stuck at home. Mattel's popular items were, of course, Barbie dolls, American Girl dolls as well, but also Hot Wheels, Star Wars teddies, and even the card game Uno. In the United States in 2020, toy sales overall were up by almost 17%, but Barbie certainly getting a good chunk of that.
Yeah, I think we've already probably got about 3 packs of Uno somewhere.
Well, I mean, you can never have enough, really.
No, well, that's true. Yeah, you never know when you might want to play. Thank you very much, Steve. Steve, we're busy.